So to charge yourself, does one have to give up on electronic devices, leather नहीं पहनना, वेजिटेरियन फूड खाना है, खादी कपड़ा पहनना है या लाल रंग के कपड़े पहनने हैं, and then give yourself up completely? It is hard to do that. So when you come to the stage of doing all that, you've already made a commitment to leave part of that material world.
Correct. I think it's like this. You know, when a guy falls in love with a girl, sorry for the example.
It's fine. Most natural thing to
Natural
happen.
thing to happen. When a guy falls in love with a girl, let's say the girl is vegetarian and the boy is a non-vegetarian guy. Now, in a relationship where there's an understanding between each other, dietary choices, religious and faith-affiliated choices, political choices, don't necessarily bother the bond that they share. Correct? A bond should be unaffected. A true bond between a man and a woman should be unaffected by religious faiths. It should be unaffected by political affiliations or religions. It should be unaffected by dietary preferences. It should be unaffected even by one's upbringings, from the kind of upbringings they've come from.
In an ideal world, yes.
In an ideal world, yes. But
or
they do.
ideal relationship.
Ideal relationship. But, you know, you wouldn't bring these things, ideally. Now, however, as the relationship deepens, both partners are willing to kind of adjust.
Correct.
Both are willing to adjust because they have a purpose together. So when you begin the path of spirituality, it's not about quitting. Quitting this or wearing this or, living in a certain way. No, it's not. I again and again come back to this point that it's about the mindset. It's about including those right kind of values, those right kind of principles, those right kind of tenets in our life in a way that we feel empowered to live an integrated life, not an isolated life. However, as our commitment to a path increases, it's like a lady and a man, their commitment to each other increasing, correct? Now, as a natural consequence of that commitment, when you want to quit a few things so that you kind of go more deeper, that's a natural consequence. It's a natural consequence. So, I'm not someone who's going to kind of say, okay, you have to be a vegetarian or you can continue being a non-vegetarian. Spirituality is about the principle of compassion. Let's go above dietary preferences and say that it's about compassion. Now, shouldn't compassion extend to every living being?
Yes.
Yes. So when we start evolving and becoming deeply spiritual, it's not because I'm told by an organization, it's not because this is a requirement of a particular path, it's not because it's a fashion now to do. It's because I am evolving and I want to live by these principles, right? So that's when then your dietary choices probably move more towards being a vegetarian as a choice and not as a force. My clothes, right? I don't think spirituality has anything to do with clothes.
Then why do you wear this color? And why
This
do you
is
wear
because
this?
as a monk, right? I've chosen to live in a monastery. And I'll get back to why I wear this particular color, right? But I come back to that earlier point I mentioned. I could be wearing these clothes and not having the monk mindset at all.
Sure, of course.
What's the point? And you could be dressed up in a designer sari, Smita madam, and you could be having a better sense of detachment and control over your mind than I do, right? So how did clothes matter? Yes, definitely clothes are reminders to us in terms of the kind of lifestyle we should lead. For example, a policeman putting a uniform on, or one of the members of any of our defense forces, Navy, Army, Air Force, they have uniforms. Now, wouldn't they have dedication without uniform? They still would have dedication without the uniform. Wouldn't they be skilled enough without the uniform? They still would be skilled enough without the uniform. Wouldn't they have that missionary zeal to protect the country without the uniform? They would still have it. Then why the uniform? Right? Because the uniform is a reminder of what they represent. A uniform is also a reminder to their own selves of what they represent and what they stand for, and also a reminder to everybody else of what their role in the society is. Right? So without the uniform, they'll still be fine.
Sure.
But with the uniform, it just adds value. So monks who live a life of some complete isolation, some a mix of isolation and integration, some integration, would generally wear a certain kind of garb to remind themselves of what they have chosen and to also remind others of what is their role in the society and what is their contribution to the society and the lives of others. In particular, of the color that I wear, the orange or the saffron or the bhagwa that I wear, in the traditions or in our ancient traditions, the orange color represented the flames of fire. Right? So, in the Vedic tradition, in the Hindu tradition, you will find that when somebody leaves this world, then their cremation is with the flames of fire, which basically means it's finished now, death, right? So when you don this garb, what it really kind of indicates is that I'm now no longer just living for myself. That life is dead. And now I'm living for others. So what this is meant to remind me is my life is not just a life of self-aggrandizement. My life is a life of contribution to people in the world. So that's what it's meant to remind me. Whether I live by that or not is another question. Whether people who don this garb live by that is a different question. But that's what it's meant to remind us and others of. ना आपने कभी अगर खीर बनाई हो तो खीर में हम लोग कई बार केसर डालते हैं
जी,
सैफरॉन
जी.
तो केसर में कई बार ना मॉइस्चर होता है. तो अगर केसर डालना हो खीर में तो हम पहले उस केसर को तवे पे थोड़ा गर्म करते हैं ताकि उसका मॉइस्चर निकल जाए. फिर एक छोटी कटोरी में दूध लेते हैं और फिर उसमें भिगो के फिर उसमें उसको मसलते हैं बहुत. जब उसको मसलते हैं तो 2-3 चीजें होती है. उसका जो रंग है उस छोटे दूध या पानी में रंग आने लगता है उसमें. और फिर उसकी जो खुशबू है वो भी उसमें आने लगती है. और उसका जो स्वाद है वो तीनों आता है. रंग आता है, खुशबू आती है और स्वाद आता है. फिर आप जब उसको खीर में मिलाते हैं तो उस खीर का जो जायका है वो एक अलग ही होता है. सोने पे सुहागा है ना. केसर वाली खीर, केसर वाला दूध. तो मुझे कई बार लगता है ना कि जो मंक है, ये जो कपड़े पहने, ये एक रिमाइंडर है कि हम भी केसर की तरह है. भूने जाने के लिए तैयारी होनी चाहिए, तप होना चाहिए. तप का मतलब ही है तप्यन्ते इति तपः. जो तपता है वो तप. केसर को तपाया जाता है, उसको भूना जाता है. और हम सब तप कर रहे हैं. इट्स नॉट जस्ट दैट monks are doing tap. Everybody is doing tap. But when you voluntarily embrace it for the benefit of others, it's called tap.
Okay.
Otherwise, people are stuck in the traffic. It's like tap in one sense, but it's not voluntary. So when you voluntarily choose to take inconvenience on yourself for the convenience of others.
Namaste, Jai Hind. You're watching ANI podcast with Smita Prakash.
अगर हम उसको मस्जिद कहेंगे तो फिर विवाद होगा.
The issue is टूटा है क्या भारत?
400 पार का मतलब ये है कि संविधान खतरे में है.
क्या हम लोग ये निर्देश देते हैं कि फला को गिरफ्तार करके जेल डाल दें?
वही तो कह रहे हैं सब.
ये बेबुनियाद निराधार आरोप.
सच्चा सुनना चाहो देखो स्मिता प्रकाश ANI. It does not lie.